Okay. Da dran gehen.
Before entering the ruin, I have a proposal that will help us prevent the kind of senseless arguing between you two that we saw at Guyonstone Forest.
Okay. What is it?
I propose you two agree upon a contract, stipulating that we alternate who gets claim to each treasure we encounter, with only one object permitted per claim. To show my sincerity, I won't be taking any treasure. This will just be between you all.
Ja, ich will auch keinen haben. Alles gut.
Hey! Don't pass an opportunity like this up so easily!
I don't agree. I mean, you want me to split the treasure with this amateur archaeologist? No, absolutely not.
Dann bleib halt eben weg.
I don't agree either. He will only defile the precious relics left behind by the god of salt. I can't accept this.
Well then, if the contract is not agreed upon, I will no longer serve as your consultant on this expedition. You will have to rely on your own experience to find whatever treasures are hidden in this ruin, as well as traps.
You have the audacity to demand this. Okay then. Even half of the treasure in the long-sealed ruin of the God of Salt should be enough to make a fortune.
If you want me to agree upon this contract,
Es ist einfach
so
so.
be it. I just have one request, Mr. Zhongli. If we discover the truth behind the God of Salt, you must judge it fairly, even if the truth harms Morax's image.
I can accept this arrangement. Well then, let's go.
Sehr schön. Wie sie einfach gezwungen hat, eigentlich den Vertrag abzuschließen, ne? Glasblöckchen hier. So, das ist echt nervig ohne ein Großschwert, ne?
On to the next.
Oh, schnell hier hinten hin, bevor ich im Wasser lande. Aha. Mann, ey, das ist echt nervig. Aber jetzt weiß ich auch, die habe ich mich gesucht, hier die Kohlapis. Und die sind unterirdisch. Ist ja klar, ich die ja nicht gekriegt habe. Wo ich Kohlapis gefarmt habe. Ätzend. Naja, gut. Jetzt weiß ich das auch. Das war der ursprüngliche Grund, warum ich hier war. Weil hier richtig viel Kohlapis ist, ne? Okay, ich switch mir auf das andere Team. Es tut mir leid. Wir gehen mit dem anderen Team rein, weil ich hier einfach nur R drin habe. Hier eben auch das ganze Kohlapis abbauen kann. Oh ja.
Steady as stone.
Ach Gott, was ein Schatz hier unten. Herrlich. Also jetzt schon 5 Stück. Da drüben ist Nummer 6 auch. Haben wir ja auch schon gesehen. 7 Stück hier unten. Das muss ich mir merken. Ein Spot, der ist gut. Scheiße, Mann. Ach, oben mit dir, Noel.
Time to clean up.
So, ihr kleinen Klibbis, ey. So, der ist auch weg. Und wir wollen hier eh nach da oben, ne? Echt besiegen interessiert mich nicht. Das Rätsel im Salz. Dann machen wir das doch gerade mal. Ha? Empfohlen kriegen wir ein Splitterchen. Ja, dann auf. Geht einfach genau so rein, ne? Empfohlene Elemente, Erde habe ich. Sollte schon passen. Lebo, süßes Salz. Oh. Eine seltsame Statue, die aus Salz besteht.
Are these statues?
No. These are people.
Ugh.
They were probably followers of the God of Salt.
How did they come this way?
What in the world is hidden deep in this room?
Ja. Manche Sachen sollte man wohl nicht erfahren, ne? Es hat sich bewegt. Ah, ich brauche ihn. Ich brauche ihn wirklich dafür.
Solidify!
Das ist mir auch schon gleich unauffällig, wenn er auf einmal hier so krasse Sachen macht, ne? Na gut, erster Schatz.
Look at this. It's filled halfway with salt.
Oh, it just looks like a fancy salt holder. Seems like the god of salt was a god lacking in treasures.
According to my knowledge, it's no ordinary vessel. Although it is only half full, it is also forever half full.
What? You're saying that even if I pour the salt out, the amount inside won't change?
Exactly.
Able to produce endless salt. The god of salt is powerful indeed.
Gleich wie bei ihm mit Mora, ne?
Finally, after all that effort, I've found precious treasure. I claim this is mine. I just need to pour the endless salt into 1,000 or 10,000 bags. I can sell it and make a fortune.
Hey, how can you use a relic of the god of salt for such a shallow pursuit?
If Mr. Clement wants this salt chalice, then the next object we find will belong to Miss Wanyan.
Of course, as we agreed. But how can anything be worth more than this rare find?
Ja, der hat dich bestimmt hier richtig
Since we have a
hingeführt.
contract, it's no use for me to fight with him.
Then let's move on, shall we?
Auf geht's. Den hat er sich genommen, von mir aus. So, dann machen, ne?
Solidify!
You can't run! Judgment! Leave it all to me.
Hör auf, das blöde Ding anzugreifen, Mann. So, der ist auch weg. Das war's? Ja, das war's. So. Okay, jetzt muss ich mit dem Ding nur noch zielen, ne? Okay, ich kann damit auch mehrere setzen. Interessant. Na, guck mal einer an.
Just a simple ruler. It doesn't look to be worth anything.
This, if I remember correctly, this is some kind of measuring tool.
Indeed. But the god of salt imbued it with. When you stick this ruler in the ground, the surrounding area will become covered in salt, much like a rising tide covers the earth.
Okay, das ist schon
The
krass.
deeper it is stuck in the ground, the more salt will appear. It is essentially a bumper harvest of salt.
What? That's even better than the salt chalice.
Well then, according to our contract, the salt ruler goes to Miss Wanyan.
No, unacceptable. I paid for and organized this entire expedition. Why should I get the short end of the stick?
Das du vereinbart hast.
And this girl has been useless. Why would she get anything?
Oh boy. Here we go again.
Wenn wir über unnütze Menschen sprechen, ne?
So you are saying you want to break the contract?
So what if I break it? Now that I've seen how the mechanisms in this ruin work, I no longer need you. Let's not forget who hired who here. Why should I let you make the rules?
Because you agreed to a contract. Rex Lapis once said, "Ones who break their contracts shall suffer the wrath of the rock."
That is one of your Liyue gods. I am from Snezhnaya. I
Will suffer the wrath of the rock. You may find it rather unpleasant.
Ja, zeig's dem Arsch. Richtig, Zhongli.
This is order.
Bam, bitteschön. Oh, Alter, was das für einen Schaden macht, ey. Heftig einfach. Ey, krass, das ist also ein Schuldeneintreiber. Ja, und du aber auch nicht.
I shall confiscate your treasure as well. You are not worthy to continue any further into the ruin.
Oh, darn you! Just you wait.
Das soll ein Schuldeneintreiber sein, der Lutscher.
Some archaeological survey. He could only pretend for so long.
Ich hoffe, du wirst nie so gierig wie er, Paimon.
Hey, Paimon likes Mora, but Paimon doesn't do bad things.
Ja? Abwarten, was die Story
Clement's
irgendwann noch gibt.
wrongdoing stemmed from greed, yes. But besides greed, there are many other things that may tempt us to break contracts. When people see the object of their dreams, how many are really able to control their desire? And I think we should be honest with each other now.
Huh? Be honest about what?
That in truth, not a single member of this archaeological expedition came here for archaeology.
Echt nicht? Sie auch nicht?
Why do you say that?
Miss, you lack even the most basic archaeological knowledge, and can recognize naught but a few simple relics. However, you are an expert when it comes to anything regarding the god of salt. You aren't interested in archaeology or relics. What you're really interested in is the god of salt. I believe those legends about the god of salt that you mentioned on the Pearl Galley are passed down between generations at Yinyuan Hall.
Okay.
Okay, that's enough. Sir, you are indeed a man of great knowledge and talents. I seem to have been right to seek you out once I plucked up my courage. You're right. I'm not a scholar of archaeology. I come from one of the 8 trades under the jurisdiction of the Chising, Yinyuan Hall of the salt industry. Our ancestors were those protected by the god of salt all those years ago, when the Archon War engulfed the land in chaos.
Ja, wenn ich recht darüber nachdenke, habe ich dich nie Rex Lapis sagen hören.
Oh, right. Now that you mention it, the people of Leah very seldom use the name Morax.
During the
Richtig.
war, Morax assassinated our god out of envy for her power. He left us alone and lost in the world. We hate him. But this is Morax's Leah after all. And its history is written as he wishes.
Glaube ich gar nicht.
So I seek proof of Morax's guilt. He has blood on his hands and cruelty in his heart.
Oh Mann.
We agreed to a contract that we will face the truth head on, didn't we, Mr. Zhongli? You must judge this history fairly.
Naturally, of course. But I must add, Liu is no longer Morax's Liu. Come with me. All the answers you seek lie ahead.
Okay, jetzt erfahren wir endlich die wahren Sachen. Wir müssen ja immer noch hin, ne? Geht. Okay, so komme ich da hin. Eine Truhe. Ich glaub, es hackt, ey. Aha.
Crumble!
Sehr schön. Immer mehr Truhen.
Stabilize!
Hat gepasst. Warten gerade, bis diese Säule wieder kommt. Und dann ballern wir sie hier drauf. Bam.
You can't run!
Hier, von mir aus. Ich mach's alle kaputt erstmal.
Steady as stone as a dutiful
Die
maid.
Idioten mit ihren doofen, komischen Steinschilden, ne? Ich muss Noelle auch unbedingt stärker machen. Das hat sie, glaube ich, verdient mittlerweile. So, jetzt aber.
Bubba, get them!
Na gut. Kommen wir mal erst den hier.
Stabilize. Judge. Order guide you.
So. Das ist ein kristallisiert. Habt ihr das gesehen? Wusste ich gar nicht, dass es auch so geht.
Swirl, tag 2, animal test.
Ja, da hat er nicht mit gerechnet, ne? Dieses kleines Magier-Tier. So, das haben wir auch. Dann können wir jetzt hier oben hingehen und was auch immer das ist nehmen. Ein Schwert.
This is a sword? Aha! It's a broken sword! This is proof! This proves that the god of salt had to fight back. Fight back against the evil Morax. But sadly, she was defeated. The power of this sword surely is much greater than that of the Salt Chalice and Salt Ruler. If we can repair the sword, then we can show the world the mighty power of the god of salt.
It does look like something left behind after being defeated in battle.
Two pieces of a broken sword. From an archaeological perspective, these are two separate relics. According to the contract, you can only claim one.
Why? We were alternating claims to treasure, true. But Clement is no longer here.
Yes, but the only one object per claim clause still holds true. You cannot take two relics at the same time.
This logic!
Ja.
Zhongli, she seems like a good person, and no one is fighting over the treasure.
Und der Steinsäule auf Paimon.
Fight, huh?
When there's a contract, nothing can be allowed to slide. If the contract is not followed, then it is broken.
No! If I only take one half, then it can't be repaired, and the power of the god of salt cannot be restored. No matter what, I must be faithful to her. Even if it breaks the contract, I don't care.
So you are already decided? Then there is a price to pay for breaking the contract.
Zhongli!
That is to say, you consign yourself to suffer the wrath of the rock.
That's okay. The god of salt gave up her life to protect her people. My sacrifice is nothing compared to that. Punish me however you want. Just let me take this proof of my faith.
No, you can't hit her!
Naja, bei Schwester ist es dir auch egal, Paimon.
Perhaps that punishment would be easier for her. But, as punishment, I will tell you the truth.
Huh? The truth? You mean the truth is my punishment?
Yes. The truth that I am about to tell you shall be your price to pay for breaking the contract. I'm afraid to say that the god of salt, Havria, was not the powerful god you imagine her to be.
Irgendeine niedere Göttin wahrscheinlich.
Rather, she was a small and weak god who yielded to all other gods. When it came to war, she lost, never able to win a seat among the seven.
What?
During the Archon War, the gods of this world used all their strength and cunning to vie for control of Teyvat. But Havria instead chose to flee. She thought that by giving up before a fight could start, she could save herself and her people from the war. However, during such a long war, there is no end to the advances of aggressors. After making countless concessions, Havria lost all of her lands until...
No! It can't be so.
Ja, guck dich schon mal um.
In her last days, she had not even a single blade to defend her people with.
Not even a single blade? Then...
This sword is not a relic belonging to the god of salt, but is instead the murder weapon used to kill her.
Murder weapon? No! That's not true! That can't be true! You're trying to test my faith in the god of salt!
As I said before, I only state the facts.
Macht er halt wirklich.
Preposterous! You are a follower of Morax! Don't try to trick me!
Hey! Come back!
Was du sagtest, war es die Wahrheit?
Indeed. Otherwise, why would I use the truth as punishment? I did not want to tell her such cruel facts. But the contract was broken. Let's follow her deeper into the ruin. There, I fear, we will find something that will leave her no choice but to face the truth.
Oh ja, Shang-Li kann ganz schön böse sein. Das nicht angucken? Aber dann nimmt er auch nichts mit, oder sie halt, ne?
Are these statue thingies running? What will we find ahead?
Salt. And betrayal.
Ja, weil sie verraten hat wahrscheinlich. Jetzt einfach mal schwer behaupten. Ich denke mal, die Göttin des Salzes hat sie alle gekillt. So wie es scheint.
What are all these? What did they see? What did they do? What happened?
Since you do not trust me, let us continue onward. That which lies beyond this door will show you all that happened back then.
Oha. Na dann, wollen wir uns mal die Wahrheit angucken, hä? Hier scheint das Epizentrum zu sein. Flore betrachten. Ursprungsort, was hier einst auch war. Jetzt gibt es hier nur noch Salz. Hier Flore war wahrscheinlich dann die Göttin. Das ist kein Anhänger. Er hielt etwas in seiner Hand. Die Haltung zeugt von einer großen Anschauung. Das muss der sein, der sie getötet hat. Der hat mich das Schwert gehabt. Er wurde mich nicht von Rex Lapis getötet. Sie wurde von den eigenen Leuten getötet.
This is the scene of the crime. Havria's body dissipated, leaving nothing but these traces of salt. Her dying moments have since been frozen in time. The story continues that some among her people realized at last that this gentle, kind, but weak god could never protect anyone in wartime. The Archon War was cruel in the extreme. Instead of consigning her to the agony of defeat, they thought perhaps it would be better to give her a quick release.
But what about these statue thingies?
Gleich bei einem Tod von einem Gott mächtige Magie gewirkt wird.
No matter how weak the god, the power that flows forth when they are slain is beyond the strength of mortal coils to bear. Those who could not flee were thus transformed. Those of her people who were untouched by this disaster left for Liyue, where they sought refuge with Rex Lapis. Their descendants feared Havria's remnants and lived in terror that she had laid upon them an eternal curse. So they risked their lives to come here, to break the sword and offer up obeisances in hopes that her anger might be appeased. But they need not have done so. For how could a god who had never once resisted, even till the end, nurse hatred for her people in her heart?
Even if this is so, I can't! This must be a lie. A false history, all of it! Don't you dare try to shake my faith!
Alter, mach die Augen auf.
Yikes. Zhongli didn't show any mercy this time either.
This is the price she must pay. Yet I would not call it a bad thing. Judging by how she appeared, I fear that she will struggle for a time. But even if she may not escape that struggle immediately, simply recognizing the truth is good enough for now.
Du scheinst nur allzu vertraut zu sein, damit was mit der Göttin des Salzes geschehen ist, oder?
Indeed. In ages past, Havria's story served as a warning to me as well. Faith in a god who has already passed will do you no good. So it is for Havria. And so it is for Morax also.
Das Volk von Liebe wird das irgendwann verstehen.
All right then. Now, would you like to accompany me in taking a trip to Gullion Forest?
Ja, klar, warum nicht?
Huh? What do you want to do, Zhongli?
Treading old ground, telling old stories. One cannot help but be reminded of old acquaintances.
Klar, können wir gerne machen. Aber erstmal hier die wertvolle Truhe. Nam, 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 nam. So. Einmal wieder nach oben. Ja, krass. So schnell kann es gehen, ne? Gut. Dann huschen wir mal ganz fix nach da hinten. Bis oben. Scheiße. Ah, wartet mal, das machen wir anders. Sehen uns gleich oben wieder. Oh, da sind wir gleich. Dann kommt hoch da. Auf, auf. Noch 100 Sprünge. Hallo. Aber ja, eine coole Story.
I mentioned before that many gods of old have been sealed beneath the Gullion Forest. The Adepti have presently handed Liyue over to mortals, and Havria's time was even further in the past. The Salt Chalice and Salt Ruler that she left behind should not return to Liyue.
Okay.
To leave them here is to let them slumber. And it is also a homecoming.
Also, was sollen wir deiner Ansicht nach machen? Die einfach hier als Denkmal da lassen, oder wie?
I ended an era with my own two hands. I've always wondered how I should remember that which I ended. History records, but history may be changed. This incident proved that. Time is a mighty force, and history's twist in its flow. I need to find a better way of recording history in order to engrave its truth. Stone carvings were one such ancient method, but unchanging stone, immovable earth, even one such as myself. Someday we may all disappear.
Zeit nimmt sich irgendwann alles, ne?
Zhongli.
Therefore, I thought of you, traveler. You are one who crosses the celestial atlas, and who passes through countless worlds. If our history is engraved in your memory, it will one day accompany you into another world. As long as a traveler like you is able to record what happened, then a backup of sorts will exist for times and tides of Teyvat.
Also hast du mich nicht nur mitgebracht, um Schätze zu finden, ha?
Well, may you find treasure among the stars, even after you have left Teyvat. Now, I am the god of wealth, so I would think that my words have some weight here.
Definitiv.
Now then, it is time that we consigned both the Salt Chalice and Salt Ruler to the sea.
Wird denn da unten nicht Salz, wenn es da in den Meeresboden reinsticht?
Why do we need to throw them into the sea?
As I said before, this is the place to which the remnants of many bygone gods are consigned. This includes Osial, overlord of the Vortex, who the Jade Chamber most recently returned to this ocean prison.
Yeah.
Thousands of years ago, the Adepti and I fought against the turmoil that plagued every corner of this land. Guyan Stone Forest, where I sealed many gods with my spears. After so long, naught but folk tales remain. Osial, you and I were foes, but our ancient grudge is but a bygone memory now. May that which Havria has left behind be yours to subsume. And thus another spark of divinity departs from Liyue. My legacy shall now be left to those who come after to debate.
Ja. Und da haben wir auch La Flora abgeschlossen.
I will remain here for a while. I fear that moments of reminiscence like this can only grow fewer.
Werden diese Reliquien nicht die Macht von Osiala wachsen lassen?
Though the Salt Chalice and Salt Ruler do have power in their own right, they are nothing before Osial. If a day comes when he should recover his strength and return, I believe that even so, he will be defeated once more.
Na gut, hier oben werden halt eben alle immer stärker, ne?
I will remain here for a while.
Und die Göttin des
I
Salzes
fear
tut mir
that
aber schon
moments of
irgendwie weh, ne?
reminiscence did
Leid.
not measure right and wrong during the days of the Archon War in the same manner as we do today. Of course, as I am now, I only wish that she could have lived in a gentler time. I will remain here for a while.
Was werdet ihr nun tun?
That is a good
Shang-Li?
question. In the past, I might have given you a most specific answer. But now... Yes. I suppose I will continue in my role as a consultant at Wangsheng Funeral Parlor. But if this journey was to your liking, why don't you come along the next time I am seeking to preserve memories of Liyue's past?
Können wir gerne machen. Oh Mann. Ja, und damit haben wir auch die Story fertig. Ach ja, schön. Sehr interessant. Als nächstes käme dann dran die Täuschung des Himmelsfürstes oder hier das mystische Unternehmen Wangsheng. Aber das sehen wir einfach dann. Vielen Dank fürs Zusehen und bis zur nächsten Folge. Ciao, ciao.